Listen closely. The world doesn't reward the good. It rewards the strategic. You don't rise by chance, you rise by control. By understanding how power breathes, bleeds, and bends. This is Machiavelli's discipline code, a creed for those who refuse to be prey. Every word you hear is a blade, every truth an instruction for domination. You want respect? Then stop asking for it. Engineer it. You want peace? Then build walls strong enough that war fears to touch you. The weak drown in emotion. The strong observe, adapt, execute. A strategist moves unseen. A warrior strikes without warning. Combine both, and you become untouchable. From this moment, you no longer think like a follower. You think like a sovereign mind, operating above chaos, unmoved by sentiment, armed with intent. This is not motivation, it's indoctrination into a higher order of control, command, and calm brutality. If you understand this, comment, "I move with calculated calm," because from here on out, you don't live by feelings, you live by strategy. Number 1, the foundation of power, cold rationality. Power begins where emotion ends. Every decision you make under the influence of emotion is a weapon handed to your enemy. A strategist sees beyond the fog of feeling. He studies reactions, patterns, and motives as a surgeon studies anatomy. You must dissect human behavior until manipulation becomes instinct. Never confuse kindness with weakness. Your calm must be calculated, your silence deliberate. The world is a chessboard of appetites, fears, and illusions. If you move with reason, you control the board. If you move with impulse, you become a pawn. Detach from the need to be liked. Attachment breeds vulnerability. Detach from the need to prove. Insecurity reveals itself louder than any scream. Learn to see the world not as it should be, but as it is. Brutal, transactional, and indifferent. Rationality is not the absence of feeling, it's the mastery of it. A cold mind commands respect because it cannot be predicted, cannot be provoked, cannot be owned. Train your emotions to obey logic. Train your logic to serve victory. Comment, "My calm is my weapon." If you understand that emotional control is not weakness, it's the first law of dominance. Number 2, the art of manipulation, command through perception. Perception is power disguised as presence, and manipulation is not deceit. It's the science of control. Every empire, every leader, every conqueror in history understood that reality is not what is true, but what people believe to be true. To manipulate is to engineer that belief. A Machiavellian mind does not seek approval. It crafts illusions that make approval irrelevant. You must learn to wear masks that fit the moment. Stoic when challenged, charming when observed, ruthless when crossed. Never reveal your full nature. Ambiguity is the most effective armor. The weak speak their intentions. The strong hide them behind silence and strategy. Let others think they know you. While they guess, you move. The goal is not to deceive for vanity, but to direct outcomes with precision. Words are tools. Use them like blades, cutting through uncertainty, shaping thought, bending emotion. Influence people's desires and you own their direction. Appear trustworthy but stay detached. Make allies but keep leverage. Respect appearances but worship results. The essence of manipulation is discipline, not chaos. It's the cold patience to watch people reveal themselves and the foresight to exploit what they expose. You do not play the game, you design it. Those who resist the art of manipulation are already being manipulated by those who don't. Power flows to the one who understands perception is more commanding than truth. When they see calm, they submit. When they sense confidence, they follow. Control perception, and you never need to demand respect. It arrives uninvited. Comment, "I command through perception." If you understand that manipulation is not evil, it's survival dressed in intelligence. Remember, your goal is not to be loved or feared alone. It is to be both, in perfect balance, by your own design. To rule the mind of others, first conquer your own. Number 3, the psychology of fear, control through presence. Fear is the most primal form of respect. It commands obedience without words, loyalty without affection, and silence without demand. Every great strategist understands that fear, when balanced with composure, becomes the invisible weapon of command. To inspire fear is not to rage, it is to radiate unshakable certainty. The one who cannot be rattled becomes the one who cannot be challenged. When you walk into a room, your energy must announce dominance before your voice ever does. Calm power unsettles people more than aggression ever could. You must train your presence to project inevitability, to make others feel that resisting you would be both pointless and costly. Fear is not built through cruelty, it's built through control. A leader who loses his temper loses his mystery, and mystery is the root of power. When others don't know what you're capable of, they assume the worst, and that assumption becomes your shield. The weak depend on approval to feel significant. The strong create distance to remain superior. You must never fear isolation. Isolation is where strength regenerates. Let people sense that your tolerance has limits sharp enough to draw blood. Speak little, act less, but make every gesture deliberate. Power grows in stillness. Destruction hides in movement. Never overexpose your emotions or your intentions. The moment they understand you, they disarm you. Instead, let your unpredictability breed respect. The goal is not to terrify, it's to make others measure themselves before approaching you. That hesitation is your control. People are drawn to strength but ruled by fear of losing access to it. Maintain that paradox. Control how they see you, and you control how they treat you. Comment, I move with silent authority. If you understand that fear, when wielded with discipline, becomes the architecture of influence. You are not here to be understood. You are here to be obeyed by the logic of your presence. Number 4. The discipline of detachment. Freedom through indifference. Detachment is the highest form of control because the man who feels nothing cannot be manipulated by anything. The world thrives on attachment. People cling to validation, to relationships, to approval, to illusions of safety. But the strategist sees all of it for what it is, a trap. Emotional attachment creates dependency, and dependency destroys authority. To operate in true power, you must learn to cut emotional cords without hesitation. This does not mean coldness for the sake of cruelty. It means emotional discipline so sharp it slices through distraction. You must not chase, you must attract. You must not beg, you must become irreplaceable. Indifference is not apathy, it's supremacy over impulse. It's the ability to walk away from anything and anyone without hesitation. Detachment turns you into a mirror. People project their desires onto you while you remain unmoved, untouchable, in control. Never let passion dictate your strategy. Let purpose dictate your moves. You are not meant to react, you are meant to calculate. The more detached you are, the more others crave your attention, your approval, your energy. You become the prize because you do not compete for one. Every great manipulator, ruler, and strategist throughout history mastered this truth. Emotions are useful only when directed outward, never inward. Show warmth when it gains loyalty. Show empathy when it deepens control. But never let another person or situation dictate your internal state. Indifference is your fortress. Once inside it, no insult can wound you, no rejection can unbalance you, no betrayal can surprise you. To achieve this, you must train your mind daily. Observe without reacting, endure without complaint, and respond only when it benefits your long-term outcome. You are not ice, you are fire-contained. You are not emotionless, you are emotionally untouchable. Comment, my detachment is my dominance. If you understand that power doesn't come from possessing things, it comes from being free from their hold. The moment you no longer need anything external to validate your worth, you ascend into a realm where control is effortless and influence becomes instinct. Remember this truth, a detached man cannot be controlled because nothing in this world has the power to pull him off balance. That is true freedom. Number 5, the law of patience. Time as a weapon of power. Patience is not weakness, it is strategy in slow motion, the art of bending time to your will while others rush blindly toward ruin. Every impulsive man exposes his flaws to the observer who waits. Every hasty move reveals intention, insecurity, and fear. But the man who learns to pause, to restrain, to delay his strike until the perfect moment, he becomes lethal. Power, real power, does not sprint, it stalks. The Machiavellian strategist understands that time is the most obedient servant to those who know how to command it. While others demand immediate gratification, you must cultivate the discipline of delayed conquest. You must watch in silence as others exhaust themselves chasing illusions, knowing that your silence is your advantage. Time, used wisely, is the most subtle form of domination. It creates tension, it breeds anticipation, and it crushes the unprepared. A patient man is never desperate because desperation lives in haste. To master patience, you must learn to embrace discomfort. Waiting becomes your training ground. Restraint becomes your ritual. Do not mistake inactivity for patience. True patience is strategic stillness with intent, the calm before a storm you control. When you learn to endure, you gain insight others miss. You begin to see the cycles of human behavior repeating endlessly, and from that observation, prediction becomes power. The wise ruler never fights every battle. He selects those that matter and wins them with timing so precise it appears effortless. The longer you wait, the more your enemies reveal themselves. They expose their greed, their weakness, their need to act. Let them. You are not racing them, you are outlasting them. Every pause you take makes their movements more frantic, their logic more emotional, their focus more fractured. Patience is the trap they set for themselves, and you are the hunter who tightens it slowly. Remember, power is not about how fast you move. It's about how long you can stand still while others crumble in their urgency. Comment: time obeys my will. If you understand that patience is not passive, it's precision. The more disciplined your timing, the more inevitable your success becomes. You control outcomes not by force, but by restraint. Learn to weaponize time, to let anticipation work in your favor. Because in this world, the man who can wait without losing focus, who can endure without losing purpose, who can bide his moment without losing hunger, that man is unstoppable. Number 6. The strategist's mind, the architecture of control. The strategist's mind is a fortress, silent, vast, impenetrable. Within it lies the blueprint of domination, the cold machinery that transforms chaos into opportunity. The average man reacts, the strategist orchestrates. Every thought is filtered through calculation, every move measured against consequence. To think like a strategist, you must abandon the illusions of fairness and emotion. You must see the world as it is, an ecosystem of hunger, power, and deception. People are predictable when observed without empathy. Their ambitions reveal their weaknesses. The strategist studies them like equations, inputs, motives, and triggers leading to inevitable results. Control is never loud. It's constructed through subtle influence, invisible manipulation, and precise timing. You must develop the ability to watch without reacting, to listen without revealing agreement, to plan without speaking. The strategist understands that silence creates pressure and that attention is currency. Never spend your attention freely. Invest it where it yields power. Every word, gesture, and delay should serve a strategic function. Most men crave validation. You must crave leverage. The mind must become both map and weapon. Learn to detach from immediate outcomes and think in layers. Today's loss becomes tomorrow's bait, a trap disguised as defeat. You do not seek constant victory, you seek control over the rhythm of conflict. The strategist's patience is terrifying because it is rooted in certainty. He knows that chaos destroys the impulsive and rewards the composed. You must not chase control, you must design it. Build routines that sharpen perception. Discipline your emotions until anger becomes data and pain becomes strategy. When betrayed, you analyze. When challenged, you adapt. When cornered, you shift the board. Every crisis hides an advantage for those who can think 3 steps ahead. The strategist sees betrayal coming long before it arrives because he has studied human nature. He understands that self-interest is the only constant. He uses that law, never fighting it, only directing it. To manipulate others, you must first understand what they truly want, and then become the gatekeeper of it. People are not loyal to you. They are loyal to what they gain from you. Control that gain, and you own their loyalty. A strategist never demands trust. He engineers it, never asks for obedience. He makes it seem logical. Power is psychological first, physical second. The strategist's strength lies in perception management, appearing predictable to the masses while remaining unreadable to the rival. You must train your intellect to see both the surface and the undercurrent, to analyze words and the spaces between them, to identify not what is said, but what is avoided. The strategist's greatest weapon is awareness. He collects information as others collect comfort. He turns knowledge into control, control into influence, and influence into empire. You must learn to think beyond victory, beyond competition, toward legacy. The strategist is not here to win once. He is here to make winning inevitable. His every move serves the long game, and his long game serves domination without effort. Most fail not because they are weak, but because they are short-sighted. They seek immediate triumph, and in doing so, reveal the limits of their mind. A true strategist would rather be underestimated for a decade than understood for a day. His invisibility is his strength, his mystery, his advantage. He moves through life like a shadow with purpose, calculating each silence, each gaze, each decision with mathematical precision. You must cultivate that same discipline until emotion becomes your subordinate, not your ruler. Your mind must become your throne, commanding, unshaken, immortal in its control. Comment: my mind is my fortress. If you understand that true dominance begins not in muscle or money, but in thought, the strategist's mind is built on 3 pillars: awareness, patience, and adaptability. With awareness, you see. With patience, you endure. With adaptability, you conquer. Master these, and you cease to play the game. You become the one writing its rules. Number 7. The law of adaptation. Evolve or erase. Adaptation is the highest form of intelligence, the supreme art of dominance disguised as flexibility. It is not submission, not surrender. It is the deliberate transformation that keeps you ahead of extinction. The man who resists change is already dying. He just hasn't noticed yet. Power does not belong to the strongest. It belongs to the most adaptable. The strategist knows this truth and moves accordingly. Every empire that refused to evolve fell under the weight of its own arrogance. Adaptation is anticipation. It's the foresight to evolve before necessity demands it, to reconfigure your strategy while others still debate their next move. You must become a shapeshifter of circumstance, a silent architect of transformation. When the landscape shifts, you shift faster. When the old methods decay, you invent new ones. Adaptation is not reaction. It is proactive evolution. The weak panic at disruption, the strong design within it. You must stop fearing uncertainty. It is your greatest ally. Uncertainty keeps others hesitant while you advance unseen. The adaptable mind is fluid but fierce. It bends, but it never breaks. You are not bound to any form, ideology, or label. You are whatever power requires you to be at the moment. Flexibility is not compromise. It is camouflage. It is how you infiltrate, survive, and dominate without detection. The more you adapt, the less predictable you become, and unpredictability is power in its purest form. Control what changes you, or be consumed by what doesn't. The world worships consistency, but consistency is the coffin of innovation. Adaptation demands ego death. You must shed old identities like worn armor. Destroy who you were to become what you must. A strategist never mourns his former self. He dissects it and extracts what still serves his purpose. Growth is a continuous execution of outdated versions of you. The adaptable never resist evolution, they engineer it. When betrayal hits, they adjust alliances. When loss strikes, they recalibrate goals. When the system shifts, they rewire their advantage. They evolve so quickly that enemies find themselves fighting ghosts. Comment: I evolve faster than chaos. If you understand that survival is not about endurance, it's about transformation on command. Adaptation is not natural, it's intentional. It is a mental operation requiring brutal honesty and absolute discipline. You must monitor patterns, the tempo of people, the rhythm of power, the pulse of opportunity. Change is constant, but perception is selective. Train your vision to detect the earliest signals of transformation and position yourself before the wave breaks. The man who moves first controls the narrative. He appears prophetic, but he is simply prepared. In power, there is no stagnation, only adaptation or extinction. Adaptation means knowing when to retreat and when to re-emerge, when to vanish to evolve, and when to return to dominate. The Machiavellian strategist moves between forms like a ghost wearing reason as his armor. You must become both shadow and storm, silent enough to observe, strong enough to strike. Adaptation is the highest discipline of control because it is power in disguise. The adaptable man is unkillable because he cannot be cornered. He transforms the corner into a door. He does not fear change, he initiates it. He does not resist evolution, he commands it. He does not chase relevance, he becomes its architect. Adaptation is immortality in motion. You don't fight the storm, you become the thunder within it. Number 8. The law of isolation, power in solitude. Isolation is not loneliness, it is concentration. It is the deliberate withdrawal from noise, weakness, and distraction so that the mind sharpens into a weapon capable of cutting through illusion. The world worships connection, but power thrives in separation. When you are surrounded by people, you absorb their emotions, their doubts, their fears, and without realizing it, you become diluted. The strategist understands that solitude is not escape. It is recalibration. Alone, you see the world without distortion, you hear your own thoughts without interruption, and you rediscover the cold logic that power demands. Isolation teaches self-sufficiency. It strips you of excuses and forces you to confront your raw potential. In solitude, weakness screams and strength whispers back. You learn to command your own energy, to generate momentum from within instead of feeding off external validation. Most men cannot handle isolation because it exposes their dependence. They crave attention, approval, and noise to drown their insecurity. But the one who embraces solitude becomes dangerous because he no longer needs anyone. When you can operate alone, alliances become choices, not necessities. You become the one people seek, not the one seeking. Solitude breeds clarity, and clarity breeds dominance. In silence, you can dissect your motives, refine your purpose, and craft your next move without interference. You become unpredictable because no one knows your rhythm anymore. Your isolation becomes your invisibility cloak. The strategist uses solitude as a forge, a place where distractions melt and discipline is reforged into steel. The fewer voices you allow into your mind, the sharper your focus becomes. When you detach from the crowd, you stop absorbing their chaos and begin controlling your own. Remember this: great empires were conceived in solitude, not in company. Every revolution began in the quiet mind of one who thought differently. You must train yourself to find comfort in your own presence. When solitude feels like power rather than punishment, you have transcended dependency. The world fears those who move alone because independence cannot be bought, coerced, or controlled. Isolation also protects your energy from parasites, those who feed on attention, validation, and time. Guard your solitude like a crown jewel. Not everyone deserves access to your presence. Solitude refines awareness. It teaches you to sense motives without words, to read faces without expression, to anticipate betrayal before it breathes. The less you speak, the more you hear. The less you reveal, the more power you retain. Solitude also strengthens emotional immunity. When you can be alone without craving distraction, the world loses its hold on you. You stop reacting, you start calculating, you stop seeking approval, you start commanding respect. In isolation, your willpower hardens, your patience expands, your intuition sharpens. You stop fearing loss because you realize everything external is temporary. When you no longer depend on anyone, manipulation loses its effect. You can walk away from anything without hesitation, and that is true strength. Comment: my silence builds empires. If you understand that isolation is not emptiness, it is elevation. Solitude is the training ground of kings, the sanctuary of thinkers, and the fortress of warriors. You cannot master others until you have mastered the self, and mastery of self begins in silence. Embrace your solitude not as punishment, but as preparation. The man who knows how to be alone holds a kind of power that terrifies the world because he cannot be bribed by belonging or broken by absence. Solitude is where you stop chasing and start attracting, where your vision becomes so precise that nothing can distort it again. The greatest danger to your potential is constant exposure. Learn to disappear, refine, then return stronger. Let the world forget you while you rebuild in darkness, because when you re-emerge, your presence will command attention without a word. To live alone in thought is not to be isolated from life, it is to stand above it, seeing everything from a vantage point that only silence can grant. The one who commands solitude commands himself, and the one who commands himself commands destiny. Number 9. The law of control. Mastery over self and others. Control is the nucleus of all power. Without it, intellect becomes noise, emotion becomes weakness, and potential dissolves into chaos. The first law of control is mastery over self, because no man can dominate the external world until he has subdued his internal one. The strategist disciplines his impulses, regulates his reactions, and trains his mind to obey command. Every decision must come from clarity, not compulsion. Control is not about suppressing emotion. It's about directing it with precision, turning fury into focus, pain into persistence, and fear into foresight. The weak seek control over others to compensate for the absence of control within. The strong command themselves so thoroughly that influence becomes a natural byproduct. You must become immune to provocation. When others lose their temper, you stay composed. When they panic, you stay still. When they rush, you wait. Every outburst you avoid is a battle you win before it begins. Control demands awareness of your triggers, your limitations, your patterns. Once you understand what moves you, nothing can manipulate you. Control also means understanding the levers that move others. Every mind has its openings: ego, greed, vanity, guilt, or ambition. To control others, you must discover which lever governs their behavior, then pull it subtly, never forcefully. Make them believe they are acting freely when, in truth, they move according to your silent direction. The best manipulation feels like autonomy. Control is not domination through fear, it's orchestration through influence. The wise ruler does not shout. He adjusts the environment until obedience feels voluntary. The strategist understands that power gained through intimidation is temporary, but power rooted in psychological control is eternal. Never reveal the extent of your command. Mystery magnifies authority. When people cannot measure your control, they overestimate it, and that illusion becomes reality. You must cultivate an aura of composure so unwavering that even chaos seems to bend around you. Comment: I master myself, therefore I control all. If you understand that true control begins within, control also demands consistency. Discipline is the proof of power, the repetition of intention until excellence becomes instinct. You must command your habits as ruthlessly as you command your words. Control your time, control your focus, control your response. The more predictable your internal order, the more unpredictable your external influence becomes. Control is also an art of timing, knowing when to act and when to hold, when to assert dominance and when to withdraw. Impulse destroys leverage, patience multiplies it. Learn to pause before reacting, to observe before deciding. Every second of composure gives you information, and information gives you leverage. The man who controls information controls perception. The man who controls perception controls reality. Control is not loud, it's invisible, like gravity. quietly governing everything around it. You must never crave control. You must embody it. Craving exposes need, and need weakens authority. Real control is silent, steady, and absolute. It is the calm voice in your mind that says, "Nothing moves me unless I choose." It is the art of restraint disguised as confidence. To control your environment, begin by controlling your attention. Focus is power condensed. What you feed grows. What you ignore dies. Direct your focus like a blade. Cut away distraction until all that remains is intent. When you achieve control, you cease to react. You orchestrate. You do not chase influence. It gravitates toward you. And in that stillness, in that precise awareness of every move and motive, you become what others fear most, a man who cannot be moved, manipulated, or broken. Number X. The Ascension. Becoming untouchable. To become untouchable is to transcend reaction, to rise above every tactic meant to provoke, manipulate, or derail you. It is not a title you claim. It is a state you earn through relentless discipline and brutal self-honesty. The untouchable mind is not numb, it is controlled. It feels emotion without letting emotion dictate motion. It sees deception and remains unmoved because truth and lies are merely data to be processed, not forces to be feared. You reach this level when your sense of worth no longer depends on approval, validation, or outcome. You are no longer driven by revenge or desire for recognition. You act solely out of purpose. The untouchable man walks with calm aggression, a silence that commands attention without demanding it. His strength is invisible but undeniable. He doesn't chase opportunity, he manufactures it. He doesn't plead for loyalty, he inspires it through authority. Every word he speaks carries the weight of certainty. Every action he takes echoes strategy. He is patient with time, ruthless with excuses, loyal only to evolution. To be untouchable, you must build yourself from the inside out. Logic over impulse, vision over distraction, principle over popularity. When your mind becomes immune to chaos, the world loses its ability to wound you. Every attack becomes energy you redirect. Every betrayal becomes instruction. Every loss becomes leverage. You no longer resist the game. You are the game. You don't destroy enemies. You outlast them until their relevance expires. You are not controlled by circumstances because you understand that every circumstance is an opportunity disguised as conflict. This is the Machiavellian state of ascension. Calm, composed, and cruelly precise. You are not seeking peace. You are peace, armored with reason, sharpened by detachment, and powered by patience. Nothing external defines you anymore. You define your environment through sheer mental gravity. You are unshakable, unhurried, unbothered. The world bends to those who do not flinch. Comment, I am untouchable. If you understand that true power is not about conquering others, it's about mastering yourself so completely that no one can reach where you stand. You have entered the final phase of Machiavelli's discipline code: control, calm, command. Like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because this is only the beginning of your transformation. Welcome to Machiavellian mode.